While I was researching the video about the different kinds of comedy music, I came across some music that seemed to have been made intentionally worse, possibly as a way of being funny. And it got me to think, what other value might be found in art that is ugly? I don't mean art from a different culture or that is to the taste of a different or small group. I mean a creative work where the artist is actively making you try to recoil in horror. Why waste your time creating art that's deliberately unpleasant when the natural goal of most artists is to create the most aesthetic beauty possible? Beauty appears naturally and is defined by its ability to attract on instinct. If you want your art to be attractive to people, make your art resemble something beautiful. Wanting your art to bring positive feelings for other people is a natural response to the artist's desire to be accepted by their community, and therefore a response to the social need for belonging. Making repulsive art may, believe it or not, repel people. This is why making your art unattractive is an act of bravery, risking becoming an outcast for having a subversive style, all in aid of showing honestly what you value as an artist. And what might an artist value outside of the transcendent value of beauty? Well, another transcendent value, the truth. Just as beauty exists naturally, things that disgust us are also unpleasantly present. A dead animal, rotting food, our own defecation. Disgust is evolution's way of using our senses to keep us away from what is harmful. So we keep away from it. But like a doctor who studies a disease at the risk of their own contamination, curiosity can attract us to what should repel. If it exists, we should explore it. So there are brave people willing to place in front of us an unflinching exploration of what we try to ignore. This exists. The emotions they make you feel exist. Therefore, it is truth, and so you should observe it. The fact that humans have, for the health of society, tried to isolate and hide that which disgusts us makes ugly art necessarily a novelty, like a zoo or a sideshow attraction. It is this novelty aspect that makes unexpected ugliness appropriate for comedy, whether it leans fully into the gross out humour or it's simply funny for the fascinating way it stands out. But novelties appear as cheap distractions, and the audience for ugly art does not become more creative for having witnessed it, and calling a work of art a novelty is too dismissive in a sense. To the audience, ugly art does not inspire alternative ways of thinking, it's simply repulsive. But disgust still exists, and ugliness is still true in a way, and the truth shouldn't be ignored. So, even if it is only occasionally engaged with by most people, it is important work that artists continue exploring those feelings that others may find unwanted. Somebody needs to be at the extremes of acceptability, pushing the boundaries for the freedom of ideas and inspiration for all artists to see beyond their natural, impulsive response to aesthetics and to grasp some of the terrible realities of life. Life can be ugly, and so ugly art is needed to express it. If I had to personally choose the best work of art to display the ugliness of life, it would be the video game Disco Elysium. The story of a substance-abusing detective who has messed up his life to an almost absurd degree. Video games being a blend of media, we can see how Disco Elysium, apart from the tragic overarching story, exudes ugliness in every aspect. The eerie visuals, the depraved actions your character can take, the wistful sobriety of the music, the way your body talks to you, the way your feelings talk to you. This worrying portrait that displays the entire game until you can bring yourself to look in the mirror. All these aspects work together to bring you, the player, into the horrible grittiness of both the player character's traumatized, repressed psychology and the war-torn district you're wandering around. For your hungover train wreck of a protagonist, everything is hideous and painful, but while the game can't physically give you a hangover, it can bombard your senses with disgust to give you a taste of what your character feels and how they see the world. But this is all to serve a purpose. 30 plus hours of bad vibes would get boring without any high points, and while the game sets you up to be an awful detective who fails in every aspect of life, you will eventually experience a win. You'll progress the investigation, make an emotional connection, get your tie down from that ceiling fan, or just make yourself laugh. And when you take even the smallest step towards recovery, it feels amazing. There is such little beauty in this world. When you finally find even a single unspoiled flower, you rejoice and cherish it. Life is hard, so hard, but even this man suffering beyond comprehension can find hope. I won't say that the purpose of ugliness is to help us appreciate beauty, because ugliness is its own natural state, worth observing and understanding. But that understanding can give you a more complete view of the human experience and change the way you look at life. You can hold your breath and submerge yourself in the horrors for a while, but you'll need to come up at some point. And as easy as it is to focus on the filth you're wading through, you can't ignore the sweet taste of finally coming up for some fresh air. And if you wanted to know what that hideously fascinating piece of music was that I talked about at the beginning of the video, you can see me discussing it in my previous video on comedy music. And since I find this topic so weirdly fascinating, please use the comments section to share with me the ugly works of art that you really enjoy. And thank you for watching.